This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our partner, Audible.
Yes, it is. So we are partnered with Audible. That means that if you are looking just to check it out, you don't want to put your card in and just take the dive. You can get 30 days for free on us. If you go to audibletrial.com/JATG or click the link down below, you'll be taken there. You can sign up for 30 days for free and just test it out. Like there's a lot of stuff on there that you can get for free, a lot of Audible exclusives. But what I really like about Audible is that out of the hundreds and thousands of audiobooks that they have, if you decide to purchase something, that is yours forever. Like if you decide not to carry on your subscription or you want to take a break or whatever it is, you can always go back and listen to that book whenever you want through the app on the internet. Doesn't matter because it's yours. So once again, you can get that for 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG.
Boom. All right.
Oh, that's what it is. Hey,
We are live, sir.
we are.
Johnny and the Greg, if you guys could do your usual favors, even though you diehards that are on here right now watching us, if you could please hit the like button. That really helps an algorithm or something, and it helps us out. So if you could please do that, that would be very helpful. I don't know how many are on actually right now, maybe none. So I might be talking to nobody.
Yeah, we got two.
We got two.
Wait,
You
got
two
two.
right there
Two.
listening to us. Press
Do right
like.
away.
Press like
And
for us.
Like,
That- I think it's
subscribe
just
if
like.
you can, and then just share. You can share.
Yeah.
Share
you
it
can.
out to your networks.
Yeah,
Let people
that
know.
would help.
Spread
Let
the
people
word.
know. Yes. We need some help here. We need some help, definitely. How was your weekend, Greg?
Pretty boring, honestly. Yeah. I mean, we had a snowstorm. So it was a batten down the hatches and just
How bad was
hanging
it
out.
in Wisconsin?
It wasn't like god awful. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as like, the snowstorms that you and I grew up with. Yeah. So sorry, I'm getting feedback. There we go. You and I grew up like 6-inch snowstorms were not a big deal. Like it was,
Yeah, I would
get
say that.
your shovel. I mean, it was a pain in the
Get
ass.
your shovel, help your neighbors out, push cars,
Yep.
push cars
I mean,
out of the street and help them out.
that happened multiple times a year.
Yeah.
Like in a winter, right?
Right. At least 3.
At least.
Yeah.
I mean, and it seems like we have maybe one a year now. Like we get like that first snowstorm where it was like, oh, we got to adjust and everything else, but then it will melt and go away and just be cold. And this was like the first snowstorm where it was, oh, I had to like plan out when was I going to clear the driveway.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after I cleared the driveway this morning, got up at like 7 to do that. Clear the driveway, looked outside, heard my neighbor snowblower was going, and I watched the snowplow just like go by and just bank it all up at the end of the driveway again. I was like, man, but my neighbor was cool, and he
Helped you out.
yep. I was gonna say give you a blowjob, and he did. So, cleared out the end of it, and yeah, so we were able to get out and do our, what.
I'm not going to complain that it doesn't throw 6 inches on us every 3 or 4
No,
times.
I'm not either. And I realize it's global warming and that's bad.
I was going to ask you
but-
that, and I don't mean to steer towards this, but do you think that's a direct cause of that?
Oh, I absolutely do.
We are just heating up. We're just heating up.
Yeah, like and global warming, or more appropriately, the global climate change
Yeah.
is happening now. The reasons for that, you guys can debate that all day long, whether it's man-made, whether it's a natural geological occurrence. I don't care what it is, but it's happening. And I've got my own personal opinions about it, of like why it's happening at such a rapid rate.
Yeah.
But to each their own. But the people that like flat out deny it, just baffle me.
Yeah, I don't see how you can't see that.
Yeah.
You
Like
I don't see how you can't see
the massive like weather events that happen at all different times of the year.
Yeah.
Or don't happen in certain areas anymore. I mean, it's things like that. You're just like, well, I don't know. I think it's not, you can't say it's not happening. Or if you say that it's like the earth just going through its own little cycle, that means it's still happening.
Yeah.
And it's still affecting people. Like,
yeah,
it's still a thing.
So not to go, this isn't where I want to go at all today, but if you were to guess end of the world scenario, would it be more water world, or would it be like some sort of virus that we unleash that has been sleeping in the ice for millions of years?
Could be anything. My family's literally watching The Last of Us right now. And some weird, fungal virus that takes us all. I don't think it's going to make us zombies, but it could kill us all. Sure. We've lived through a pandemic now.
Yeah.
And not that we were the first ones to do it, but it puts a different perspective of like, oh, like a global killer type of thing.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah, no, I think all those possibilities are real. I'm not sure. Like you said, I don't think it's going to turn us into zombies, but I think it would definitely just clog up our lungs with fungus and we die,
that could happen. Water world, that's water world, and that the ice caps melt and then it floods, coastal states and everything else. Could that happen? Yeah, it can. I mean, that's and when all that happens, like the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the droughts, the snowstorms are all going to shift around, and people that just aren't prepared for those kind of things. I mean, I think that's more of what would wipe us out from that geological perspective. It's going to change so much that all of a sudden you get, I don't know, a tornado in Manitoba or something like that, where they're like, what the hell is that? We're not prepared for that. So,
yeah, I think we're slowly engineering ourselves to definitely not be able to handle it. Like, I mean, out of let me ask you a question. Out of your kids, and I'm picking on your oldest because of it, this example will make sense for her.
Mm-hmm.
How many of her friends can change a tire if it goes flat? How many know where to check? How many know where to check for the oil? And I'm just talking about car maintenance. I'm not talking about everything else in the world that happens to you. I mean, I feel like we're constantly not preparing the next generation for things that's coming up. We're not making hard people that could withstand that.
Correct. And you're absolutely right. I mean, my daughter took a class, like she understood I need to kind of know how to do this stuff. So they had an autos class. It was like autos class for girls, but that sounds sexist. It was just an all girls section of the class so that they didn't have to deal with meatheads like giving them shit for being girls in a shop class. Does that make sense?
Oh, like pressure.
Yeah.
It would almost be like, okay. It totally makes sense. I'm trying to find an analogy in case it doesn't make sense to our audience.
It's literally some redneck gearhead that would give a woman shit for being in a shop class where she's there to learn to do that kind of stuff so that she doesn't have to.
It would almost be like learning how to work out at a privately with someone instead of like just walking in there and seeing all these behemoths lifting heavy weight. I hear there's people like really intimidated by that. So it's something like that.
Like someone who's never worked out before doesn't walk into Muscle Beach and try to just jump right in.
Right.
And some Clay just part of like, why not? Can they not use YouTube to do that kind of thing? Yeah, that's true. But there are parts in this country where you don't get cell service.
Well, not only that, just because YouTube's there doesn't mean they're going to use it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like it's like back in the day when we were kids and we'd go, Mom, how do you spell this word? I don't know. Look it up in the dictionary. We never looked it up in the dictionary.
Right. Yeah. We just we just did our best.
Yeah, we just did our best, and then we learned that way. What I'm saying is, if we're raising kids to actually be soft and I guess, lack of a better word, lazier, they're not going to go there.
Because we're watching The Last of Us, which is a show about the downfall of society through a very weird zombie invasion. The episode tonight is about a guy who is a survivalist and who knows how to do things.
Yes.
Like, not only is he not the survival, yes, he's armed to the teeth in like a bunker, but then he also knows how to fix things. He's got a
start a fire, fix things,
all this stuff,
and
but basic farming. Like,
yes,
can you grow a garden?
Yep.
And have you and your family live,
which is a lot harder than you actually think it is.
And I know a lot of people can, and I know a lot of people that can't.
Yeah.
Like, would my family be able to figure it out? Yes, I think for the most part, not everything.
Right.
And there's a lot of other farm science piece, like crop science, that we just don't know.
Yeah.
If it was like one of those, hey, there's a massive shortage, like we know enough people that we could probably start a community and start to figure it out. But in the long run, like if it's literally apocalyptic, I'm like, no, kids, we're dead.
Yeah. Not only that, like going back to what cousin Clay said, like, can they not YouTube how? Like YouTube how to do it. You're still relying on something else to teach you.
Yeah.
And I get at the bare bones, at some point you are relying on somebody to teach you. But what I'm talking about is the way I look at it and the way I'm going to teach my child is that before you put the key in the ignition, you're going to need to know these things.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens if your phone's out? What happens if you don't have a battery? What happens if, like, you can't rely on that phone to help you? Because no one's going to look it up when there's no issues. Like when you're sitting on the couch and everything's right in life, you're not going to go, oh, I don't know how to fix a tire. Let me YouTube this.
Yeah.
You always are, oh my God, how do I fix a tire when your tire's flat?
Mm-hmm. So it's a very minor situation, but I mean, it started to build up a little bit of panic when I was still teaching. I was taking a group of kids to a field trip. We drove down downtown Milwaukee to the rep, where we had a whole backstage tour because these were kids that were interested in musical theater and the arts. So did the whole backstage tour, and I'm driving a school van. It was just a straight up like Honda Odyssey minivan.
Yeah.
That I packed full of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids, and we went to this field trip. On our way back, like a flash winter storm kind of popped up. It was rain, which was fine. I mean, I wasn't worried about like getting into an accident or us slipping around, but there was kicking up so much mud onto the windshield.
Yeah.
I could figure out how to get the windshield wipers to work. We couldn't figure out how to get the windshield washer fluid to go because I was in a van that I had never driven before.
Yeah.
It was something even like the steering column was in a little bit different setup.
Yeah.
I was used to driving like GMC or Chevys or Fords or just like, and I'm like, how do I get this thing to go? And every time the windshield wiper would go, it was that wintry, slushy muck and dirt was getting smeared on the windshield. I'm like, a couple more times, I'm not going to be able to see out of this thing. So I had a kid. I'm like, hey, check in that glove compartment. Is the manual in there? He's like, yeah, great. Look up washer fluid. Like, we need to figure this out. We need to figure it out right now, or else I got to pull over until we figure it out.
Right.
And like, there's like 5 girls in the back singing whatever pop song was on at the time. They're not paying attention. And me and this other kid were like, oh shit. Okay. Like we're quietly trying to figure this out.
Right.
And we did. We figured it out. I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's right here. That I wouldn't have thought to push or pull or do whatever I needed to do. But that's kind of that's how quickly things can kind of turn on you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about The Last of Us, and since you brought it up and it's kind of in this conversation that we've just organically grown here, like I need you to help me out with The Last of Us. There's one thing I don't understand about it is how does this virus work? Like, I don't understand how, like, is it like, do you remember that plant monster in that movie where they go to some pyramid in Mexico, some ancient pyramid in Mexico, and the plants like eating them alive type thing?
Not really, but
Like 4 people are stranded on top of some sort of Aztec pyramid.
I'm going to believe you, but I don't recall.
Oh, the
that
ruins.
movie
It
at
was
all.
called the ruins.
Oh,
Anybody
I don't
else see
think
the
I,
ruins?
I don't think I ever watched it.
Okay.
But
So in that, no matter what happened, the plant, if it like touched you, it sent these things into you,
okay.
like microscopic, and they just started growing as time progressed.
Okay.
So from what I understand, the way that this virus first started was there was it was poisoned flour at the largest flour factory in the entire world, and it poisoned people like in like bread, wherever flour was put in, that stuff. That's how people got affected.
Like baking products. They actually, obviously you haven't watched tonight's episode.
No.
There's a scene where he explains to Ellie, yes, it was this flour manufacturer, and they made everything from the world's largest pancake mixes to breakfast cereals to all this stuff.
Right.
Mass infection, people eat it.
Yeah, I get how everybody, I want to understand how people get it now.
Bites.
Is it like a zombie? You get scratched?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that's
not
that.
just, I don't know if it's scratching, but
Or
definitely
biting or, okay. All right. That part makes sense to me. So the next part is this virus is like a community, like it can talk to each other from across the place. But I'm seeing them walk through weeds. How do they not know the virus is sitting there at the bottom of it? And it could tell them like, hey, there's motion. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some situations where they get out of the building and they're walking on grassy plains. How do they know the virus isn't there?
I don't know that.
Okay.
But there's one of the, I don't know if it's episode, it must be episode 2. Maybe it's 1. I don't know. They find like one infected and he's got like the whole like mushroom cloud thing behind him, but he's totally dried up. So like that's dead.
Okay.
And they just like peel him off. So that was fine. But then at some point, you see the network,
you can't
the fungus network.
If it's dry or anything like that?
No, not. And this was like in the game. I remember playing it, and you would see like shit in the air.
Yeah,
and it was like, is that all that? I mean, and they kind of took this out of the show, I think, just to not confuse people.
Okay.
But as far as transmission goes, like biting, and then
scratching, or maybe not even scratching, just biting.
I think it's just biting. I don't think it's scratching.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Oh, it looks like Chiefs won. Yep.
Fuck you, Chiefs. That's how I feel. And I'm not even a Bengals fan. I just don't like the Chiefs.
I'm just Chiefs versus Eagles. I don't care about the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, I do. I think the Eagles are solid. Like I haven't seen a team that's that good in every area in a long time. Like the Chiefs have some weaknesses. I don't think the Chiefs defense is as good as Philly's defense type thing.
It's nothing personal. The teams are good. I mean,
of course,
they don't get to go to the Super Bowl if you're not good. I mean, I'm not trying to say that. I just have. I mean, there's usually like somebody on the team that I can root for.
Yeah, or there's like nobody on these teams.
Nope, I have no emotional connection. Like if the Niners got in, like vicariously through you because they're your number 2 team.
Yeah,
I would be rooting for the Niners.
I hear you. Okay.
And with these two, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I just don't want Patrick Mahomes to win. They've become the new Patriots.
You think?
Like if they're in, you're like, no, don't want you to get another one because I'm tired of seeing you here. They've gone to like they're on this. They've been on this stage now 3 times in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's like, all right, we're kind of done with you. Like, give us something else. And personally, I think like get used to it. They're going to be here for a long time, as long as
I think so.
Quarterback's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, yeah, that game was terrible, Clay. That was kind of unfair. It just felt unfair. They lost their starting quarterback like the third play of the game.
Did they really?
Yeah, they had to
I watched
fourth
no
string
football
quarterback. It's basically the fourth string quarterback. They got him off the practice squad and they got him off the street like 2 weeks ago.
Jeez.
And this guy's like thrown in against like this hellacious defense.
Oh my gosh.
And they just
they played like they had a four-string quarterback.
Yeah. And it's so funny how this sport is a team game, but it's so heavily reliant on one position.
Yeah.
Now it's turned into that where the team is so heavily invested in one position.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nuts. But it is what it is. It's called football for a reason.
If anybody cares, and I know Johnny doesn't, but Wrexham AFC is having a hell of a season.
Who's Wrexham AFC?
Wrexham AFC is the football club that's owned by Ryan McElhenney and Ryan.
Oh, fuck. Are you talking about soccer?
No, I'm talking about football.
Oh, you're not going to do this to me. No. Okay. Here's I'm going to go on a little rant. Everybody says,
here we go.
Claim that soccer is the number one sport in the world. It's not. It's not by a long shot.
How?
Okay. I'll tell you exactly how. What's the number one sport in the United States of America?
Football.
Okay. What's the number one sport in Canada?
I don't know.
Ice hockey.
Okay.
What's the number one sport in Japan? Baseball. What's the number one sport in China? Basketball. Okay. Are they not in the world? Do they not count in this little world that everybody's saying it's the number one sport? Because I just named you 5 places. Australia. What's the number one sport in Australia? Rugby. There. I've just named 6 or 5. I can't keep track. 6 or 5 countries where it's not the number one sport.
So you want me to actually pull data points?
I already did.
Is that...
I already did. I was waiting for this one day. I already did it all. But my point is,
throw it up on the screen.
It's not the number one. It's not the number one fucking soccer. And I feel like the only reason you're backing it up, the only reason you're backing it up is because no, but you can't tell me number one sport if I just named you 5 countries where it's not.
Yes, I can.
How?
Well,
so America doesn't count, Canada doesn't count, Australia doesn't count.
So you've named 5 countries, and they're good sized countries. I'm not going to lie, but you're saying that that total population of those countries, because they don't like overall have that be their number one sport, and number one according to what people that play the game, national income of the sport, number of people watching the sport. I mean, what do you
can go to, if you want to go economics? It is the poorest sport that you could buy. All you need is one ball and a person. Like the poorest person in the world could play soccer. The poorest person in the world could not play football. He would need 22 other friends to play that sport. Basketball probably is the second one. You need a ball that at least bounces, and you need some sort of flat surface where you can.
And you can play one-on-one.
Right, but what I'm saying is soccer. You can pick anything in the world on any terrain. All you need is a ball that rolls. I know kids that kick it with a coconut.
I'm wondering how does this relate to then it being?
Well, you said economics.
No, I meant like how much economics. I mean, like how much does the sport earn? Like how much does it bring in?
Well, I think you could look at it from the thing is how like golf. People consider golf a fantastic sport, but you need to be. It's expensive sport.
Yeah,
like you need to. What I'm saying is, in some of these third world countries where they can't afford even a field. Or they can't even afford a ball, you can still kick a rock.
So why does that not make it a valid?
No, I'm saying if you want to use it as an economics point, you got me.
Okay.
But if you're going to judge over the entire world, but then take out all the countries I gave you and then say, yeah, then you're right. It's not
John, point on your body where soccer hurts you.
What?
Can you show me where soccer hurts you? Because you have this.
You hurt me. I want to. You never even cared about soccer until you saw a show.
So
it's just funny. Like you become like this.
Your wife didn't give a shit about football until she started dating you.
Well, yeah, that's true. But it's because she knew she had to sit there.
So
right, but she never ran around going football like you are. You're running around going soccer. No, I'm sorry, not soccer. football. And like you're
It is.
correcting everybody in America about that. We get pissed
We're
off
the
about
only the country that says that.
Then we're not the only. Then we're not the only.
It's.
Then we're
I
not.
mean,
the
I'm
only,
not jumping on trying to use the metric system here. You're treating me like I'm trying to like overturn the world.
I know it. Just you're annoying with it. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
We get it. You like Ted Lasso. We get it. I like Top Gun, but I'm not talking about flying jets all the time.
No, but you had a Tom Cruise crush for a long time.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Tom.
Let's talk about Tom.
I had this thought about Tom. I'm over the.
You grew your hair out like Tom in college. Come on.
Like Tom,
Yes,
I grew it out.
Yes, you did. Yes,
time
you
out,
did.
Time out. Just, I'm not saying no to that. I'm saying explain yourself.
When Mission Impossible 2 came out and he had like the long hair,
Yeah.
you were going for that look.
Do you know why I was going for that? And you should remember this part too.
You claimed it was for a part
that you and I were trying to do.
No, it was for that dinner theater thing you did.
No, that was for the movie I wanted to do with the spy. Remember the spy movie I wanted to do, which is probably
I do
Mission Impossible. But
I do remember that, the spy school.
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, that was the time where you told me, "You want me to shave my head? I'll shave my head."
I was going bald already. It didn't matter.
You didn't know that. You didn't know that
Yes.
until
Oh,
after
yes.
college.
I knew that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, can you name somebody better, like from the 80s? Maybe this is forever. Can you name anybody in the history of acting that's better than Tom Cruise? The longevity and how he's always putting out good movies. Like you walk away going, wow, great movie. Good job. I mean, he's a nutball. Don't get me wrong. We're not here about like we're not here about like discussing his personal life, but that guy consistently throws out good movies.
Most of the time. There are some movies that just didn't hit. Kind of
Pull up the IMDb on that.
I know what you're saying, but The Mummy didn't hit. I mean, that wasn't a hit.
Right, but you and I have both said that's a good movie.
And then what I'm saying is there are still movies that we enjoy as like kind of movie buff, but we also enjoy what we know are some pretty shitty movies.
Really?
You don't like a good bad film? That's a different topic. Oh, that's a different topic.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So yes, Tom puts out like maybe like a movie. I don't even think it's every year. I think it's like every couple of years that he actually comes out with a film.
Every 2, you thinking?
I think it is. And they're these big budget things. So I think that's in his favor. And you and I have had that conversation where I'm like, I don't know if I like a lot of Tom Cruise films. But then we went back and looked. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I like a lot of Tom Cruise films.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of his early stuff, like even pre-Top Gun.
Oh, well,
Taps,
I don't think there was a lot. There was Taps and Risky Business. Risky Business was okay. I think it was more of during that. Wasn't that during the 16 Candles phase where it was the adolescents getting in trouble?
A little bit. I wasn't a big fan of that one. Just
wasn't there All the Right Moves too, a football movie?
All the Right Moves, yeah, not a great one. I mean, to me, that doesn't have the staying power. But you know, he's put out. Oh, what was that one?
He got it.
Lambs for Lions. Yeah, I'm looking at it. So his first credit is in 1981 called Endless Love. Never seen it.
Yeah, never seen it either.
Taps, Losing It, The Outsiders. People go nuts about The Outsiders. It was a much better book than it was a movie. Risky Business, All the Right Moves. 85, Legend. I still watch Legend, but I watch Legend more for Tim Curry than.
Okay, that wasn't a good movie, but I could see where fantasy people like it.
Yeah.
Parts.
Yeah, like the D&D fans.
Yeah.
The people that like, I mean, they'll do a triple feature with like Legend, Labyrinth, and what's the other one I was thinking of? Shit, I forgot. Doesn't matter. Then Top Gun in 86. Color of Money.
Oh, I didn't like that one that much.
I
liked Cocktail. I thought that was good.
Have you
comes right after.
Have you rewatched Cocktail lately?
Oh, we're not talking about holding up.
Okay, yeah,
I
don't think it holds up. He has an uncredited henchman shot off the roof in Young Guns. I didn't know that. And then, okay, so
you know what I could see that being? That was probably one of those situations where he just showed up on the set and they're like, "Hey, Tom, you want to do this?"
So really 88 is kind of when I feel hit a turning point for him, where some of his movies were kind of hit and miss, because the 88 was Rain Man,
Okay.
where I think was one of the first times we saw him kind of dig in and act.
Right.
And then 89 was Born on the 4th of July. 90 is Days of Thunder.
Okay.
92.
Now we're taking off.
Now
Yeah.
we're getting it. Like 92 is Far and Away and A Few Good Men.
Yeah. But Few Good Men, fantastic movie still.
That's great. Great courtroom drama.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Full of stars too in that.
And would the movie have worked without Tom Cruise? Yes. Would it have worked without other people in there like Jack Nicholson? And I think he wasn't. Yeah. Well,
Demi Moore, there was no point to Demi Moore.
But that was a whole cast kind of film.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, right.
it was built on a little bit of Tom Cruise and more, I think, of the Jack Nicholson as the hard ass general.
Right.
But that entire cast is really what brought that together. 94 Interview with a Vampire. I like that movie, but I don't necessarily like Tom Cruise in that movie.
Okay.
Mission Impossible 96. I don't think the first Mission Impossible to me is not a great film.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was good. I've liked every single one for what they are.
Little cheesy for me. 96 Jerry Maguire. Okay. Then he goes a little art housey. Then we get
Eyes Wide Sky, Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah.
Army Man's. Oh no, that's a music video. Never mind.
Magnolia.
I say Magnolia.
Yeah.
2000 we get Mission Impossible 2. Then we get Vanilla Sky. Minority Report, which was still a little.
No, that was a good movie. Long, but it was a good movie.
Really? I might have to watch it again. I remember watching it the first time. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, come on, let's get to the point here.
Oh, no. I thought that was riveting.
Really?
I thought so. I thought it was really good. I thought it was too long. You're like, this is not the end. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened there.
He had a cameo in Austin Powers, whatever, gold member.
I don't remember that.
Me neither. Oh wait, yeah, he dressed like Austin Powers. He was like a knockoff Austin Powers, I think.
Okay, I don't remember that.
I remember seeing him in the blue suit and the frill.
Now, then this is when he jumped on Oprah's couch and went nutty, right?
In 2002? Maybe.
Yeah, and then he started. Then really good movies came out, but nobody gave him a chance because it was Tom, because he was acting like a goofball.
He did The Last Samurai, which I also like that film, but
that was a fantastic film.
But to me, it that didn't hinge on the performance of Tom Cruise. That could have been
anybody.
That could have been another actor, and I would still like the movie just as much, because it was really like Ken Watanabe that made that role for me. And then the guy who, I don't know his name, but he was in Bullet Train as one of the big bad guys who told the story. He's like the token.
I know who you're talking about. I know
samurai guy.
Yeah. He's always that guy.
But I thought he was phenomenal in that. That was the first film I think I saw him in. Collateral was kind of a sleeper.
No, I thought Collateral was good.
It was good, but a lot of people didn't see it.
Right.
Like it was because he plays a bad guy and people didn't want to see him as a bad guy. War of the Worlds, I think, is a terrible film.
Oh, I think you're wrong. I think it's a great film. There's so many points I could point out that's like really good cinematic acting right there.
No, I didn't.
Oh no, we're not even talking about his acting skills, which I think are good. But War of the Worlds is fantastic. I don't know what you didn't like about.
I didn't like.
Let me guess. You thought it was fake?
Yeah, no, I thought it was real, and then I was really disappointed when I thought it was fake. Mission Impossible 3 was my least favorite of the Mission Impossible.
I thought it was very good. J.J. Abrams.
You did like it.
I don't think you like anything except Luke Skywalker at the end of The Mandalorian.
Oh, fuck you.
What? I mean, everything I talk to you about, you go, it's all right.
It didn't.
Am I wrong, people listening to him?
No.
Listening to us? It just seems like he's never
all three of you
thrilled anymore. Yeah, all three of you.
Tropic Thunder, I liked.
Yeah, but that wasn't really Tom. Tom was hilarious in that.
Not a Tom Cruise. Valkyrie, I liked. I thought that was pretty good.
Valkyrie was good. I forgot he was even in Valkyrie.
Yeah, he's the main guy.
Yeah, that was good.
Night and Day is a terrible film.
That was horrible. Yes.
Ghost Protocol. I like that. That was
very good.
That was a turning point in the Mission Impossible films. That's where I really started to be like, oh, these I like. Rock of Ages where he sang.
I never saw that one, so I have no idea. Was it good or not?
I
I'll leave it in the
knowing your
that one.
disdain for musicals. I want to know if the Tom Cruise-ness of it will get
Never.
you over it and,
Chris
and try to
Hammond-
watch it.
I name anybody. I shut off Sweeney Todd the minute they started singing. I was like, fuck this.
I'm surprised
This
you
is
didn't
dumb.
know that was.
I
mean,
didn't know. I thought maybe there was one or two little music notes.
the whole thing is based off of
God.
West End play.
Yeah, well, I'm not a musical guy. I didn't know that.
Rock of Ages, which was a musical I was kind of into, like listening to the soundtrack of the Broadway cast, and then the Hollywood version was just fucking terrible. Jack Reacher I like. Oblivion I really like.
Yep, both of those are good.
Edge of Tomorrow I like. I'll say I like it. Rogue Nation, the second Jack Reacher film I was less impressed with.
Yeah, but I still enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I just think there's something cool about a guy about Tom Cruise's stature that, like, you think there's no way this dude's going to do anything, and he ends up like destroying you.
Yeah, but the way they shoot it and the way they there's never a point where you feel like he can't do it because he's Jack Reacher and he's not supposed to. You're not supposed to feel like he's not going to win.
Okay, go on. I don't understand you today.
American Made. I like the movie, but it didn't have to be a Tom Cruise movie. That's the one where he.
He was the plane guy. That's another good Tom. All I'm saying is, when you go to a Tom Cruise movie, what would you say? 80% of the time, you walk out going, "Good movie," whether Tom needed to be in it or not.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I think it's worth the price of admission. Like,
yes.
I'm not asking for my money back. That's kind of our standard.
Right.
Top Gun Maverick, which I like. I think
here we go.
It's a fun film. No, I walked out of there going, that was a good time.
Okay, that's what I mean. That's all I'm talking about with Tom Cruise.
I walked out of there saying it was a good time.
Majority of the time, you walk out of Tom Cruise movies going, okay, I had a good time.
Did I think it was a complete ripoff of Star Wars? Actually, yes, it was.
The Mission?
Yeah, the Mission was a ripoff of Star Wars.
Well, that's what I said when I was watching. I'm like, oh, this is Star Wars.
Yeah. So there's that. Do you think it is Oscar winner picture of the worthy?
No. You know what? I don't know what is anymore. Like, to me,
right,
used to be Oscar worthy to me. What was actually on the MTV Movie Awards when they used to do that. That was the shit I enjoyed. I enjoyed best fight scene, best kiss, best
People's Choice Awards. I think those are good because those are like people voting instead of just the Academy giving itself a hand job.
Yeah, that makes sense. But even then, the people that is it nominees? Like, is it still the People's Choice that have the nominees for People's Choice?
I think you can still get on and vote. Like, it's they take people.
I know votes. You vote for who wins, but who votes for the nominees? Like, who says? That's what I'm asking.
I thought that was, you know what? I thought at one point it was still a nomination process from people,
right?
Like with the internet now, you just go in there vote. Yeah, regular. That's what I thought, but honestly, I don't know if it is anymore. Okay. So I'm not gonna make that statement.
Okay.
So where were you going with the Tom Cruise thing?
It was a thought I had after Maverick.
Okay.
Because lately I have been walking out of movies going, God, that was like bland. Like I'm expecting a steak to taste better, and it's like, oh, you fucking ruined the steak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can still eat it. I still get the necessary stuff from it, but like, this could have been better. And Maverick, when I watched it, I was like, wow. Like, I had everybody come up to me, Greg, and was like, dude, have you seen Maverick? Oh my God, it's awesome. And I'm thinking, okay, it's just Tom Cruise trying to relive like the magic of Top Gun. Right. And then I saw it and I was like, no, this is great. I walked out excited. I walked out going, finally, somebody cooked a steak I like, finally. And I think that it just came at the right time of where I felt everything was bland lately.
Yeah.
You know, I think the biggest movie I saw before that was what's that damn movie with the Black Adam? Like, I walked out going,
oh God, yeah, that was terrible.
That
was terrible.
Yeah.
And the thing about, I would say both Black Adam and Maverick, you know, I got a movie I really like, I got a movie that I really dislike, and they both star two of the biggest names in Hollywood. And
I guess that's my point too.
I would say if it was other actors in those roles, and not that you can really replace Maverick because that's the continue. I get that. But if you were to do like a similar Top Gun movie with a different star, I think it still would have been a great movie because it's the cinematography. There's a lot more to Maverick than just it being Tom Cruise.
No, I disagree with that. And the only reason I disagree with that is because they tied the past movie to this movie so well that there was emotions.
It's hard to separate it.
The nostalgia emotion. So it wouldn't have worked. It would have been another good movie, but it wouldn't have pulled the way it pulled because Tom's in it.
I haven't watched it yet. There's a new one out on Amazon Prime about the Korean War. It's another naval aviator kind of fun. And I watch it. I will watch it. It's got the guy who played Hangman.
Okay.
And so it's
Glenn, what was his name? Glenn something?
Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
So it's Glenn Powell and the guy who's in the new Creed movie. He's oh God, the bad guy.
I know who you're talking about.
He's Kang.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
So it's those two in like in a fighter pilot film. And
like, Red Tails?
Not Red Tails. No.
Okay.
Red Tails was terrible. It was a missed opportunity for sure. No, I'm like, hopefully they make that one just as enjoyable because I thought I read that they used some of the same filmmaking process.
Okay.
Of making that. So anyway, what else did you have on the docket? Because like there's an Oscar thing that came up.
What else did I have? What
else did you have to talk about? Because there's an Oscar thing that I sent you. I don't know if you were going to talk about that or not.
An Oscar thing you sent me?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Oh, well.
Or I didn't read it, or I don't remember you sending me anything about.
That's okay. I don't take it personally when you don't read my stuff. There is a woman. Let me bring up her name. She's nominated for, I believe it's Andrea Riceborough.
Okay.
That's nominated
that's the husband of Edgar.
No. And Andrea, she's an actress. Nominated for.
Oh, that's her name.
Yeah, that's her name.
I'm sorry. I thought she was playing somebody like
that. Nope. She's nominated for actress in a leading role. She's her people nominated were Cate Blanchett for Tar, which is a composer film. It's on my list to watch. I haven't watched it yet. Anna de Armas in Blonde for the Marilyn Monroe film on Netflix. I haven't watched that yet. Andrea Riceborough for To Leslie, which is a film I've never even heard of. Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Kind of the favorite right now, I think, is Michelle Yeoh. But this Andrea Riceborough, who is nominated, like there are only like there's less than 10,000 members of the Academy. I think it's more like closer to 6. And those are the people that vote if you get nominated. You only need a little under 300 votes to get nominated. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the setup. This woman, she got nominated. They announced it. You've been nominated for an Oscar. And now, as of this week, the Oscars have come out and they're like, we need to research how this woman got nominated. Because it's out of left field, right? Like very few people have heard of this film. And so they're going after like, how much did people campaign to get her nominated? So there's rules.
You gotta be campaigned to do this.
Well, there's rules like Michelle Yeoh can't go and talk to other Academy members saying, watch this movie and then think about me in a Best Actress role. Like that's unacceptable.
Okay.
It's against the rules of the Oscars to do that. They actively campaign for your own film to be nominated. Can't do that. So word on the street is that other actors who saw this film were telling other actors, hey, you know what? You got to go check out this To Leslie film, especially the performance by Andrea Riceborough. I guess Edward Norton was one of the big ones that was going around Hollywood being like, go check this film out. It's amazing. To the point where the Academy went, maybe that was too much. Now, the word on the street is they're upset that other actresses didn't get nominated for their roles, and that this Leslie woman, or I'm sorry, this Andrea woman took up a spot that was meant for someone else. That was meant for Viola Davis in The Woman King. Like, she didn't get nominated. And I hear that's a good film. I heard she did an amazing job. But so now the Academy's like, so yeah, maybe we should go look and see where this woman came out of left field. And they might take away her nomination.
Okay.
It to me, it just smacked, like we already said, and we've said this before, that the Academy is such a like kind of corrupt. Like, it's just a bunch of people in Hollywood just, patting themselves on the back because it's such a small group.
That's a very nice way to say it. You know
Yeah,
how I feel about it.
Yeah. Well, just early in the show, I said they're just giving each other mutual hand jobs.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. Yeah.
And-
So
But
when
now
I
it's like
hear,
they're not even trying to hide it. They're like, oh, who's this woman?
because
Okay.
I don't know. Have the ratings been good? I mean, I'm sure the ratings skyrocketed when we found out Will Smith slapped somebody.
Oh, yeah. But we were live when that
Yeah,
happened. And we went,
but-
oh.
But what I'm saying is, other than that, have they been going down? Like, are people just not giving a shit anymore? Because I knew it
Award
used to.
Yeah. Award shows in general are dropping. Like,
No,
nobody
I
cares.
figured that. Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah,
But I don't watch live TV at night. Like, other than a sporting event,
Yeah, you won't.
I don't watch live TV.
Yeah,
Like, I watch the news and sports
live.
and live. And
Yeah.
if I'm watching live TV on anything else, it is background. It is watching Supernatural 5
Rerun.
episodes
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
row
on
while I'm
TBS,
doing
yeah.
some other stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like a show that we've been enjoying. Oh crap, I can't remember the name of it now. We've been enjoying it so much, but we're still streaming it. Or this new, I'm losing all of my brains right now. I can't remember these shows. So it's a new, the guy's a private investigator. His mother's a lawyer. Fuck.
He's a private investigator and his mother's
Yeah.
a lawyer.
Yeah, it's Skylar Austin, who was in Pitch Perfect. So Help Me Todd
Okay.
is the name of the show. It's actually a good show. Like,
Okay.
we've been enjoying it. I'm not watching it live.
Right.
And I'm so not watching it live that I can see the box art, like the poster art in my head. I don't even know the title.
Oh, okay.
Like when
Yeah.
it comes, when we're surfing our Amazon account, and it's like, oh, there's a new episode of that show. Should we
Yeah.
watch it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I hear you.
I mean, yeah, I'm so not watching live TV anymore.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's everybody. And
It's a lot of people.
yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm saying. So I just eventually I could see just nobody caring about the Oscars anymore. Like, I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if, like, it used to be an event at my house with my mom. My mom would throw Oscar parties.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's doing that anymore. I don't think.
Well-
Unless somebody still hasn't cut the cable, and they're not
Yeah.
streaming and they're like, I don't know.
Some of the categories I don't care about. Some of them I do. Like, I want to see Brendan Fraser win. Like, for The Whale, which is a movie I have not seen yet. I want to see him do well again because the industry tried to like screw him over, and I'm happy he's doing well. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't hear that. I was looking at your brother saying, "Go Chiefs, what's up, beautiful buttholes."
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for putting in your 2 cents there, Curtis. Life-changing. Go ahead, Greg. What'd you say?
I don't know. Now I'm reading too. So like best actor in a leading role,
Yes.
Austin Butler and Elvis. Finally watched that film. Dude's a good actor.
Okay.
Colin Farrell and Banshees of Inisherin. Entertaining, maybe. Depressing as all hell. Brendan Fraser, I want that guy to do well. Like, I
The
want
Whale.
him to,
The Whale.
yeah, I want him to live in on.
Oh, these are the people that are nominated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul Mescal and After Sun, no clue who that guy is. Could pass him on the street, don't know. Bill Nighy for a living. I like Bill. He's been in some good stuff. No idea what that movie is.
Okay.
So, like, and that's just, I'm like, I want, like, each
There's
category.
there's nothing investing anymore. Like
Each category,
they keep picking movies that the majority of people don't see. I would love to see the box office score that was with these, because that's telling you who's going to see movies.
That's when you're kind of like, it was the MTV Movie Awards that really hit like the movies that people are seeing.
Yeah, yeah.
But even that got dumb. Like, if you go back and look at how some of that, it got a little out there.
Yeah.
And like for Best Picture, they've got films on there that I'm like, really? You nominated that for Best Picture? Avatar, Way of Water. Best Picture? No.
Well, I think James Cameron's tight with all those people.
He totally is.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, if anything, it should be up for Best Animated Feature. It's an animated film. 95% of that film is people CGI'd. And the sets are CGI'd, and the water, maybe some of the water's not. A lot of it is. Yeah. It's a CGI film. Elvis is interesting. I mean, it was an okay film. I enjoyed it. Tom Hanks. So it's nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, and probably some other stuff. It's also, Tom Hanks is nominated for a Razzie for Worst Actor in a Film.
Is that the one with Otto?
No,
no,
he's playing he's playing Colonel Parker, who was Elvis's manager.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, you're still talking about the movie Elvis. Okay.
So you've got Elvis up from multiple Oscars, including Best Actor. And then you have a Razzie and Award nominee. So that's a weird back and forth. You know, Top Gun Maverick, Best Film, enjoyable film. Yeah.
Well, what are you comparing it to?
Well, I don't know. It's just like kind of the Oscars have always had the mystique of like you said, high art films that people haven't seen.
No, I don't think so. I think it turned into that somewhere down the line.
But like
it used to be movies we all knew, and we were all like, "Oh yeah, I saw that." Or it was always movies like that, and all of a sudden it turned into Way of the Will-O-Wisp, and you're like, "Who? Who's what is that?" And like you heard like Moonshine or whatever that Moonlight or something, and no one heard of that.
Right.
And somewhere along the line, it took a sharp turn where it just became I don't know, it just became artsy, and you're kind of like, like what happened to the move? Like this isn't cool. And I think the only thing you wanted to hang around was like for best special effects, because those are the movies you watch. You were like, oh, okay. Yeah, I know that one.
On that, those nominees, All Quiet on the Western Front, which was a Netflix film, really good. I didn't think it was visual effects wise. Okay. Way of Water, Avatar, Way of Water.
That makes sense. Okay.
Probably gonna win. Batman, the Batman.
Okay.
Which I visual effects, I thought that was mostly like practical stuff. Like I don't think of that as a big special effects film.
Yeah, I don't. Even the things that you think aren't special effects, I guess they are.
Right.
So I don't. We should look up what are the criteria for special effects. Not today, but
I can't ever find those. I've tried to find
like what's the criteria for these things
for each category. Like what are the criteria for these, and I can't find them.
All right.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, is up for visual effects.
That makes sense. It's a Marvel movie. Half 75% of a Marvel movie special effects.
And so is Way of Water, like that. And then Maverick. And I think Maverick should win because of the innovative camera work they had to do in the pilot seat stuff, because they actually had the actors.
So what's up for Best Picture? Because I have an interesting question for you after you.
Well, and we named off some of them. So All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, All Quiet Western Front.
Avatar, Way of Water, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, which is Steven Spielberg's kind of full biopic piece on him coming up as a young filmmaker, like as a boy, like him walking around with the camera as a boy.
Yeah.
Tar, I think is how you say it, T-A-R. There's a weird accent above the A, so maybe that's not right. But that's about a conductor like an orchestra conductor.
Okay.
Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness.
That's a lot of movies you're naming. Usually it's
And
only like 5.
nope, they got more. And Women Talking.
Okay. Out of like
10 movies. 10 movies they nominated.
out of all those, what are the ones you think shouldn't be nominated for best movie?
Avatar: Way of Water.
Okay.
Some, you know what? I haven't seen Women Talking. Haven't seen Triangle of Sadness. Haven't seen Tar. Haven't seen Fablemans.
All that sounds artsy fartsy to me.
So that's 4 films I haven't seen.
Okay.
Avatar: Way of Water, I don't think was best film of the year quality. Like it was barely even a good movie for me. It was a sci-fi film with a mediocre story and really good CGI.
Okay, that makes sense. So I think when it comes to James Cameron, everybody wants to like
They roll over on themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I think out of all those group, I'm sorry, it was Top Gun to me. Out of all that group, Top Gun should win it. It won't. I think it's going to go to some sort of artsy fartsy show. I think
there's a better shot with that one than some of the other. Honestly, I think Steven Spielberg will take it because people.
That's like a lifetime, lifetime achievement award type thing.
I'm
and it's about you, Steven. Here's your Oscar.
I'm pulling for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
You know what that okay, let's talk about a movie that I don't think was the best. It was a weird, fun.
It was a mind
what the hell's
trip,
going
man.
on, money? Yeah, what the hell is going on in this movie? But I can't stop watching. I think it's fun. Oh my god, he needs to jump on that to ignite to the next, like to you know how I thought like how they have to give it a paper cut and then they have to, to switch their jump personalities or parallels or something like that. It was so I definitely don't think that's one of the best movies I've seen this year. It's creative and fun, but it's not the best.
I didn't walk out of there the most entertained, but I walked out of there going, wow, they did some stuff.
Yeah.
So
maybe they're giving them props for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else did you want to talk about tonight, Jack?
Yeah, I want to talk about my birthday weekend because my wife did a really cool thing for me.
Yeah, what happened?
She took me gun shooting.
No,
yeah,
really?
It was really cool. And listen,
where'd you go? Like, was there a place around you?
Yeah, someplace in Prospect Heights, or not someplace in Des Plaines, Illinois. It was super cool. It's the first time I'm as green as it gets. The last time I shot a gun, I think I was 8. And so I have no formal training, nothing like that. I've gone to friends' houses and they've shown me their guns and whatever. But we had a private lesson. The guy sits there and breaks down everything from assembling the gun to cleaning the gun to holding it the proper way, positioning your feet, all this stuff, hiking your shoulders up, all this information that I didn't know. And then we get to the shooting range and we go from 15 and 21 feet. That much distance, that extra 6 feet is quite like a difference.
Yeah.
Like I've never experienced it before. So Ursula and I were both shooting.
These are live rounds?
Yeah. We were shooting live rounds and we were shooting a Glock and then a Walter
PPK?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. That's the James Bond gun.
Okay. Oh, then no, it wasn't the PPK. It wasn't a James Bond gun, or unless they've improved the James Bond gun. But I wanted something for Ursula that she felt comfortable handling.
Sure.
Because we were in the same, we were also just shooting for fun, but we were also kind of like, okay, this is our first experience. Yeah, we're shopping.
You're shopping. Yeah.
So I have these shooting ranges, and I wanted you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. I wanted you to see. This is both Ursula and I. Okay. Hope the camera can see this. So Ursula is pretty good at shooting this. What I want to bring your attention to, folks, okay, is where Ursula decided to end her last 2. Can everybody see that?
Did she do that on purpose then?
Yeah, that was her last 2 shots.
And then that is good.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was really clever. And I was looking at her going like, whoa, that was from 21 feet away. So
all right.
with a PDP.
I don't know what that is.
Curtis, do you know what a PDP is? Handgun.
PDP to me is a personal development plan, but
Are you timing it up?
yeah. Walther PDP handgun of the year.
Oh,
In
is it?
2001,
That's the
it was
one
the
that we like
handgun of
so
the year.
far. So
Yeah.
if anybody can give me any pointers on if that's a good handgun for the both of us, because I want her as
Comfortable with it as you can. Yeah.
correct. But it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, and then we went out and had some drinks and had a pretty good meal, and then we went home. But it was a very, very cool, fun time. I'm glad she did the private lesson.
Yeah.
Because I guess because I have my card, I can just walk in there, grab a gun to rent, and just start shooting. And she's like,
what was the size? Do you know the size? Were they 9mm or
yes,
40? Okay, 9mm.
Yeah. But it's weird. For the first time now, I've shot plenty of Nerf guns in my life. And
a little different.
Yeah, a little different. The adrenaline rush I actually felt was weird. I didn't expect to feel that at a driving range.
Yeah.
But when he handed me this gun and I knew what was in it, I knew I'm about to fire it. And I'm going through this mental checklist of how to hold it and all this stuff. And
made you nervous?
Yeah, I was incredibly
nervous.
Incredibly nervous with it. But as I shot more rounds, I had to shoot, let's see, 25 bullets. So around the last 15, I was super comfortable. So I started actually settling down, but it was weird. It was very weird. And when we were done, both Ursula and I were like, I was like, are you thirsty? She's like, yeah, I'm super thirsty. I'm like, yeah, let's go get like a beer or something. Like, I am really thirsty. And I don't know if that's adrenaline coming down from the adrenaline.
It could be
thirsty.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was the first time I think I could actually feel. I'm trying to think if I've ever felt real adrenaline before. I'm sure I have before that.
Yes. You're an athlete. You felt adrenaline.
Maybe it was the first time I was conscious of it.
It might be the first time in a while that you had that kind of rush.
But it was, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it.
Shooting is fun. I mean, and this is where.
Sounds good, Curtis. I'm up for that. Can Ursula come as well?
Sure, she can. Yeah, absolutely, she can.
Because I want her as comfortable as I will be.
And for people that aren't reading the comments, Kurt has invited Johnny up to Wisconsin to come shooting. There's a place that we know where a guy who is a fully licensed gun collector, like he's got a very nice setup on his land, and like I was out there, and it was when I was trying to get back into hunting, like deer hunting. So I was doing some shotgun kind of work, and I hadn't shot a shotgun. I think I was almost 40 at that point, and I hadn't shot a shotgun since I was 16, 17, something like that. And I was like, ooh, yeah, I got to get used to this again. So this guy who has been a competition shooter, he does these prairie dog shoots out in the Southwest where it's a tiny little bullet, and it's just, he's got scopes that it looks like a telescope that you'd buy for your daughter to like at a Walmart style, but it's mounted on top of a big ass gun. But it's still shooting a tiny little round because he's shooting a groundhog. But he's got like World War II style guns. He's like, well, here, squeeze a couple of rounds off of this. This is what a paratrooper would have shot as he was floating down.
Oh, okay.
Really? That's cool. Stuff like that. And he's got his setup, his range, up close, walk you back. I think it may go up to 150 yards or more. Like he's got a lot of land to work with. But that's a lot of fun. And the first time I took Krista like shooting, we went to it was a Gander Mountain outside of Madison, and they actually had CO2 cartridges, and then they piped in sound. It was all kind of synced up to give you the sensation of shooting, without actually having a round leave
Come
the
out.
barrel
Yeah. Okay.
to get you used to that
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
get you used to the sound, get you used to the recoil, get you used
The
to like
sound was kind of unreal, not
yeah,
from our gun, but the people that were like, I guess you could
yeah.
say our neighbors,
Mhm.
they were in there, and one guy, and I kept trying to find which guy, some guy had a huge handgun because
Like
it
some
was,
kind
it
of
was like, when it
yeah,
like
like
shook everything.
huge
And
hand
I,
cannon
and I
kind of
was
deal.
asking the
Yeah.
instructor, I was like, Dave, what's he shooting over there? He goes, I have no idea. It's probably like a three, like a, what's the one that Dirty Harry used?
357.
Yes. He says it's probably that, judging by the sound. I was like, holy shit. No wonder why people made such a big deal out of that in the movie. Like I never knew that. I just thought, why are you making a big deal out of the idea
Yeah.
of
Kurt's getting all excited.
I know. Me too,
It's
actually.
fun. And that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
when people go off about guns, like should citizens own them? Should they not own them? You know, not even really getting into the whole Second Amendment thing. Like they're fun. It is a fun pastime to shoot things. And I don't care if it's a crossbow, bow and arrow, blow dart,
Yeah, I thought she was actually taking me to an archery range at first.
Nerf gun, whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
It's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. It's a lot of fun. And the one thing, like we were talking about at dinner, like what we would like to do next, because we definitely want to shoot some more. So Curtis, we will definitely take you up on this, but I also want to find more handguns. Like we only shot 2, and I want to make sure we. I was looking at a Sig Sauer because I've read that in a novel. That's the only reason I knew. Yeah,
6 hour. Yeah.
I thought, okay, let's see what that looks like. Because then the other guy, like I felt it, I held it. I didn't get to shoot that, but we also want to go from like, here's the handgun, here's a rifle, here's an assault rifle, here's one that you need to be strapped into to shoot. You know, like that. I wanted to do something like that.
One of the times we went out to Vegas, and we were out there, it was just Chris and I. The Badgers were in the Final Four. Okay. So we found the Wisconsin alumni bar.
Yeah.
Like every major city has one, right? Like the Packer Badger bar.
Yeah.
We found it, wasn't that far away, drove down to it, and there we were going to watch the game. So we're sitting there. And then these 2 older gentlemen, they had to be like in their late 60s, early 70s. They're like, can we share your table? Absolutely. Come on and sit down. So we start, where are you guys from? And like, where do you live in Wisconsin? Just chatting with these guys. And I'm like, well, what do you guys do out here? They're like, we're both retired. I'm like, oh, well, my follow-up question was, well, then what did you do? Just to kind of start the conversation, get it rolling. And they're both retired military. One guy now ran the shooting range at one of the bases out there. There's an armory not that far away from Vegas. Okay. He's like, oh, I run the shooting range at the armory now. Like, that's kind of my retired military job. They let me come in there and I check people in and out. Like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. He's like, yeah, you want to come out? I'm like, well, do I want to? No, he wanted me to come out to the shooting range at the military base.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, you guys can come out. I'm like, I'll get you in. I'm like, well, that's cool. What can we shoot? He's like, what do you want to shoot? I'm like,
I want to shoot a tank.
Well, he said, he's like, I got every handgun imaginable for you want to shoot. I got assault rifles. I got sniper rifles. He's like, you want to shoot a 50
I do want to do a sniper rifle. I do want to do that.
He's like, I got a 50 cal. Have you ever shot a 50 cal? No, sir, I have not. He's like, I can set up a 50. He's like, if you want, I can set up a half track, which is
what's a half track?
It's like got wheels in the front and then tank treads in the back. It's like an old World War II. He's like, I got one with a like some kind of M60 or kind of thing mounted on the top, and then it's got like a little cannon thing. He's like, you can squeeze some rounds off of those. I'm like, wow, how much would that cost? He's like, son, your American tax to pay for this. I'll just get you in. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm like,
did you do it?
No, because I'm a good husband.
Did you have this guy's contact info still?
So no, I don't. It was the time you go to Vegas, you buy tickets to shows and stuff like that. He's like, I can get you in from
you've told this before.
Yeah. And my wife will back me up on it. I'm not just talking out my ass. He's like, I can get you in from this time to this time. Like, that's when I can get friends and family in. That's it. So it was like a 2-hour block of time. It was like a 2 or 3 hour drive to get to him, I think.
Yeah.
He's like, you got a car? I'm like, yeah, we rented a car. He's like, good, come on out. And we would have missed, because we went out there. I picked a show to see, and Krista picked a show to see. And it was right in the middle of her show
to see
that she was really pumped up to see.
Oh, you know what? I get
it.
Like, that makes sense. I get it.
I'm like, I can't do it.
I get it. That makes sense. So I don't know what all this means. So we can do 9mm, 40 cal, 10mm, 20
gauge, 12 gauge,
20 gauge, 12 gauge, 40.06.
That's a rifle.
Okay.
And a 22.
All right. That works. I'll try all that.
Yeah.
I'll even try the crossbow.
And honestly, if we got to go out to Denny's, Denny would start just bringing stuff out that you've never even heard of before. Be like, here.
Cool.
He's like that. Well, and maybe, you know what? I say that, maybe Denny be like, I don't know this fucking guy.
When's the best time to go shooting? Is it in the winter or is it like
No, I like
spring, summer?
I like spring, fall. Fall. I mean, I like them where it's warm, like you're wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
Jeans, hoodie, sunglasses, and just, you put earphones on so you don't blow your ears out because it gets loud.
Yeah, it does get loud. I was shocked by how actually I knew it would be loud. I didn't know it'd be that loud.
When I was still working in an office, like a physical office, cubicle life, I was on the safety team.
Okay.
Which is, you look around and you look for safety stuff in the office. Like, are the fire extinguishers there? Is this a tripping hazard? But it's also hey, you need to be trained on the active shooter scenario.
Okay.
And so I went to a local police department because they did a training, and they're like, hey, community members, we're offering a free training. Come on in. And it was put on by the police department with great guys teaching the class. And they said at the end of the class, what we're going to do is where we were at, which is Turner Hall. He's like, we're going to fire a 9mm. We're going to fire, what was his other one? Like an AR, like an AR-15.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to do a shotgun. And he's like, I'm going to do it in this room. I'm going to do it in the upstairs balcony. And I'm going to do it in a room that's like a couple rooms away. And the point was, I want you to hear what these sound like, so that if you're in a part of your building and you go, what the hell was that sound? Because there was research of like when people are in these situations, they go, what was that sound? Oh, did somebody just drop a box? Okay.
Yeah.
And then they keep working. He's like, we need people to be aware of like, that's a bad sound.
Yeah. Not only that, I've heard that the way that the acoustics play with, you could actually run into them versus running away from them.
So and these were all blanks, obviously. But it sounds real. And I tell you, when he fired a 12 gauge in kind of the dance hall area, because that's what Turner Hall, old school Turner Hall, kind of lodge kind of place. There's a stage up front and then seating on it. When he fired off that shotgun round, I've been in shooting ranges before, but if you're doing shotguns, it was all outside, right?
Right. Yeah.
Hearing a shotgun go off, and like you feel it.
Yes.
Like the concussion of it. You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that was an experience.
Wow. I can imagine. Where I went, they only had handguns. We were in the handgun range.
Yeah.
And then there's rifle range on the other end. I wanted to walk in there, but the guy was like, no, come over this way. So I was like, all right. I just wanted to walk in there and feel it. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The great thing about those ranges and the reputable ones that know what they do, the safety level is off the charts. Like,
yeah, I think Ursula picked a good one because the guy was like, I thought he was very good in terms of teaching us safety and just all the protocols needed for it.
I've seen like, videos on like Reddit or something like that of like a bachelor party comes in.
Oh no.
And they're just screwing around. And one guy, he's kind of like, yeah, kind of doing like this. And then the instructor is like, nope, get the fuck out. And like, they were gone.
Yeah.
Another thing, like when I did that, the infrared CO2 cartridge thing, they also did home invasion training. And a buddy of mine took his bachelor party there, like pre-drinking. And he even said when they got there, like, okay, guys, this is serious to us. Like, we're not screwing around here. I
Right.
realize it's a bachelor party. We've all been there. We realize you're here to have a good time. But this part of your bachelor party
Yeah.
is
Serious.
not
Yeah.
joke around time.
Right.
And so one guy, like, he's going, and it was all like video, like almost 360 style video screens
Mm-hmm.
and with the infrared stuff. So you're going through a house, and then when the shooter pops up, you know, what's your reaction time to
Right. Yeah.
stuff like that. But the first guy that went through was just like hiding around corners and doing stuff. And they're like, okay, hold up. No,
Yeah.
you know, if it's an actual home invasion, he's like, if you have grabbed your weapon and you're going through your house and you think someone is in your house,
Yeah.
you need to be verbalizing, I'm in my house. I have a gun. I will shoot you.
Yeah.
You are
Wow. Okay.
And you need to give that guy, that intruder, like the opportunity to get out.
leave,
I
to
mean,
get
they're like, we're not here to just help you learn how to shoot a guy in your house.
Yeah.
Like, we're here for you to help protect your home and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So they took it super seriously.
Well, that's good. I as it should be. It should be something. It should be something that's taught safely. It's not
Mhm.
it's not a Nerf gun.
No. And
No.
that's what, when I started to look into, like, do I want to get a gun for the house and stuff like that? Coming from a family of cops, those are exactly the people I went to ask advice for.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would too. Yeah. So, all right, man. I think we're good.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I think we've talked enough. Wow, did we organically go so off the charts?
This is so what happens when you and I.
Yeah. So, all right, Greg, sign us out, sir.
Oh, it is the deep, dark doldrums of winter here in the upper Midwest. I hear we're going to get to see the sun this week. I'll believe it when I see it, and hopefully not think it's the apocalypse happening. But as you're going through there and you are going through your grind here in the long dark of winter, don't be a douche.
For the Greg and Johnny, thank you for listening. Have a good week. Podcast out. Take care. See you later.